Hello friends, today I will summarize the contents of the 30th May 2020 issue of the Economic and Political Weekly. I am Executive Editor Leena Matthias. The first editorial is titled The Elusive Home. Do Indian states have the political will to make the returned migrants feel at home? It asks. And it says the challenge before the state at this juncture is to create such material conditions that would bring to these workers some sense of self-worth which they have lost, caught between rural distress and urban informality as they are. The second editorial is titled Fortifying Investors' Interests. The government's stimulus package, by prioritizing foreign and private capital, undercuts the significance of self-reliance, it says. In the midst of the COVID-19 crisis, the government's rescue cum stimulus package, which aims to build a self-reliant economy, has also, ironically enough, paved the way for the expansion and control by private as well as foreign capital, it argues. The third is from the editor's desk, written by our editor, Professor Gopal Guru. This time it is titled In a Perpetual Panic. It is, of course, talking about the picking up of migrant workers and laborers on their journeys on the Shramik special trains. So it says the state of panic that begins right at the pickup point of the migrant workers' journey on Shramik special trains continues to acquire serious proportions by the time the train arrives with these workers at its final destination. There is one sentence, or rather two sentences in it, that I would like to actually directly quote. It says it needs to be acknowledged that panicking is not part of the natural disposition of these workers. It is in fact a socio-psychological condition that entraps these workers right from the day they step into the land of promise, that is the metropolis. Put differently, the state of panic or pandemonium is socio-structurally accumulated, politically reproduced, and tragically arrived at. Please do read both the editorials and Professor Guru's desk column. I come now to our commentary section. The first commentary, examining the COVID-19 relief packages for MSMEs. The author argues that while the changes in the definition of the MSME opens the sector to larger enterprise, the composite criteria introduces fresh ambiguities to this definition. And it then goes on to suggest immediate and long-term measures that will help to revive demand for the products of the MSMEs and to help them tide over the COVID-19 lockdown-induced crisis. And it says liquidity infusion measure at this juncture without other adequate measures will not help alone. The second commentary is a gender responsive policy and fiscal response to the pandemic. The third commentary, role of the private sector in escalating medical inflation, a very timely subject that it deals with. It looks at the evidence from the 75th round of the NSS data, and this is what it examines. The dominance of the private sector as the provider of health care induces inflationary pressure on the household budget and potentially on the government health budget through the insurance route. And its analysis of this data, the 75th round NSS data, shows that treatment costs in private commercial hospitals as well as in private charitable hospitals are manifold compared to public facilities. The next commentary is titled The Paradox of a Supply Constrained Keynesian Equilibrium, the COVID-19 case. I come now to our book reviews. The two books which we have reviewed this time are Resurgent Asia, Diversity in Development, and Political Parties, Party Manifestos and Elections in India 1909 to 2014. Our insight pages this time carry an article on labor law changes, innocuous mistakes of sleight of hand, ask the authors. And they point out that the changes in labor laws announced during the lockdown period in several states reflect a lack of concern for the highest level of unemployment seen in the past 45 years and the large number of workers leaving industrial pockets and returning to an economy ravaged by agrarian distress. The events of the last few months suggest that distinctions amongst the working class in terms of organized, unorganized, formal, informal, migrant, local are being narrowed, the authors argue. In special articles, we have the title Rapid Growth of Private Universities. The author here studies the social and academic character of these universities to understand the consequences of the rapid growth of private universities, and what does this rapid growth mean for the university space as a whole. The analysis is based on higher education enrollment data from the All India Survey on Higher Education. The next special article is on lives and livelihoods and exit strategy from lockdown. This is a roadmap for resuming limited economic activities with necessary precautions in certain industries that can lessen economic pain given the prevailing situation, say the authors. The third is titled Doctoral Journeys, from Field Diaries to Institutionalized Authorship. The ways in which 3 doctoral scholars engaged in ethnographic research in differing social worlds is what is explored in this article. I come to our postscript, fortnightly postscript section. The first article is titled COVID-19 and the Rhetoric of Social Overhaul. This is, of course, the author is talking about the large-scale speculation as to what will be the changes in the post-COVID world. He's referring to that. And then he goes through all this, and then he says, rather than using this opportunity to focus on the specific and concrete corrections needed to systems of healthcare, labor, private insurance, and other similar institutional mechanisms, the system haulers, that's what he calls them, the system haulers' use of the pandemic to call for systemic overhauls is a case of magical thinking. The next one is titled Pichação in Sao Paulo. It took me some time to learn how to pronounce this term. Pichação in Sao Paulo. Pichação is a visual art form born from resistance that contributes to the cultural production of Sao Paulo in Brazil. The third article is titled The Coming of Corona, and this is basically a personal essay in which the author reflects on life at the threshold of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a highly insightful and evocative personal account. Like she says, the end right now is not in sight. The number of times I wash my hands would put Lady Macbeth to shame. So, all in all, friends, again, a very interesting and good mix of articles. I urge you to look up the 30th May issue. Thank you.